Good afternoon. Yes, please, both of you take a seat. I see you have brought your agent along. I am very happy. I'd just like to introduce myself. I am Clem, the sporting director here at Clem Sports. No, we are very happy that you've taken the time out of your day to come and discuss the new contract with us. So how today is going to work? Obviously, we have agreed the fee with your club to get you signed. Again, you're happy with that. We're just going to come to a decision on player agreements and things like that. Again, have you ever been in this situation before? No, it's the first time you've transferred. Okay. Again, I must give the coach the benefit of the doubt. He has come to me and said, look, we want to sign this player. I don't really look too far into that. I get given players and numbers on a sheet. It's just the nature of the job, I'm afraid. And it's my job to crunch the numbers and make sure everything works. But yeah, give him his due. He's gone with the analysts and he said, look, this is who we want. This is why we want him. This is how he's going to work within our system. So at the end of the day, I'm here to crunch the numbers. So I've managed to speak to the club. We've come to a decision what the value is worth. And yeah, so hopefully today we're going to take you through sort of the contract negotiations. I will speak to both yourself and your agent, and we'll sort of see whether you're happy with things. What we'll do after is I will pass you along to the coach, FootyFacts his name is. I'll pass you along to him, and he will be able to go through and talk you through how you really need to fit into the squad, his plans for you, sort of the tactics of the squad and how things sort of work. And yeah, just really go from there, really. Is that, again, something you're happy with? Okay, yeah, of course, we've first got to agree on a sort of wage and how things are going to be set out. So I've got a bit of a template here that certain things we'll look at. I've got some ranges to go through, of course. Unfortunately for yourself, I'd love to just be able to sit here and say, this is the money we've got, let's pay. But it's not how it works, I'm afraid. I've got other budgets to think of. I've got a set budget that we can play around with, but it all depends on how you would like this to be structured. It depends on the length of the contract, things like that. Obviously, in this day and age, it used to be 2-year contracts. This day and age is the 3 to 4 year contracts, and you've got teams like Chelsea now and a few other big name clubs that are offering 5+ years on a contract just to sort of keep value in their players. But we're sort of yet to see that really justify itself. So yeah, here we're sticking to sort of the standard norms. Of course, depending on salary will then depend on like appearance fees and things like that. Like a lot of the time I can offer you a bigger bonus, like goal bonus and assist bonus, provided that the wage is lower, because it gives me a way bigger budget to play with on the back end of things. And again, if you just want a guaranteed salary without the bonuses, then I'm happy to do so. But in the long term, if you score say 10 goals a season, I'm willing to pay you more for it because the club actually gets more for the better performances. So it sort of justifies itself on our end. But if you just want a justified salary, then we can do that. It's just going to be a lot less than what you'd earn if you took a slightly less salary but with better bonuses, if that makes sense. Yes, yeah. Okay, yeah, no worries. So what I've got here is obviously just a template for the club. So just a club's name in there. We'll crunch some of the numbers and we'll sort of come to some sort of agreement. So obviously we're in the Premier League. So if we take a quick look at the contract and what we can offer yourself as it stands, we can then play around with the numbers afterwards if that's something you'd prefer. Yeah, so as it stands, we have a obviously Premier League contract, 4 years. We're looking at an average salary of 60,000. Obviously, that comes out with that's weekly, so a weekly payment of £60,000 paid monthly. So yeah, that'd be 52 weeks of the year calculated into it. We'd be looking at a full salary of £3.12 million, so £3,120,000. Which over the 4 years would equate to just under £12.5 million pre-tax. we'd be looking at playing you in a striker, left wing, right wing. That's how the manager has informed me you'd like to utilise yourself. Again, he'll go into a lot more detail with that. Initially, we bought everyone as a squad player. We don't really offer a higher contract depending on playing role, but any new starter usually has the word squad player implemented into the contract. When we come to renegotiate player contracts in maybe 2 to 4 years' time, that's when we look at it for a brand new player. We would always put squad player anyway. It's just the club ethos we have because they're unproven at the club. If you become a fan favourite and you play well, we're more than happy to change that, just to sort of guarantee your game time. But it's just one of the rules of the club, I'm afraid, so that won't be changing today. It's just, again, it doesn't affect any of the money that goes into the contract. It's just something that we have in there. It's just so that the manager can implement a sort of system that he's got. So we like to play a 4-3-3 formation. The manager does, so we'd be sticking to that. And obviously he'll go into a lot more detail later on today of how you'd be utilising that system. So anywhere across the front three. So as a goal bonus, we'd be expecting from yourself a minimum of 15 goals in the season. We're happy to provide 150,000 per goal. So each time you score a goal, £150,000, that's 2.5 times your salary, which is a very healthy number. So if I just remove this, let's insert one below. I copy, in fact I just do that. Let's do a bit of that. Insert or above and go. Go down to, yeah, that's fine. There we go. So, yeah, if you score 15 goals in the full season, we are happy to offer you just £1 million up front. If you, the minute you hit that 15 goal mark, you'll be subject to £1 million payment in your next pay, or depending on what time of the month it is, if the payroll's already gone out, that will be informed as and when it'll be into your next pay packet. But again, I'm sure your lawyers will look over the contract on that. It all depends where it falls in the month. You see, say you score it the day before payday, we will have already run the payments, so it will go into your next month. Again, it's certain things like that which are common amongst just people getting paid in general and HMRC and things like that. What we don't want is a random payment going through a day before, so it's not likely that that'll happen, but you will be guaranteed that money. £150,000 a goal. I think that's more than acceptable. On the assists, we will be offering a £50,000 per assist, and we again are expecting at least 15 assists this season, which will guarantee you a further £500,000. Again, I think that's a good offer. Clean sheet bonus, we're putting at £20,000. If the team keeps a clean sheet, you get £20,000. Again, you're not a defender. We're not using that as like a key marketing tool, but we do like to offer the whole team to come together to try and keep a clean sheet. Everyone has it in their best interest to keep a clean sheet. We get a bit more money. So for each clean sheet we keep throughout the season, £20,000. We will offer £15,000 per win. If the team wins, the players get £15,000. Obviously, it's different for each person in the contract, but yourself, you get £15,000. If we get relegated, you'll be subject to £100,000 taken out of your wages. That's a deterrent to stop people getting relegated. Again, we have that in a lot of people's contracts, and a lot of people, we just try and build a healthy relationship towards winning. Players Club. A lot of people do have that. If we qualify for the Champions League, you will receive £1.5 million. Again, there is a big incentive for us to reach the Champions League, and in doing so, would offer you a big incentive to try and get that. I mean, that's more than the goal bonus. If I'm being totally honest, like, score 10 goals, you get 1.5 million. Qualify for the Champions League, get 1.5 million. I mean, you can hit both of them and get £3 million. So, FA Cup win, if we manage to get through to the final of the FA Cup, we will be offering. Let me just duplicate that. If we get to the final, we'll be giving each player £250,000. That is standard across the board. Everybody has exactly that amount in there. And if we go ahead and win the FA Cup, you'll get a further £150,000, taking the total up to £400,000. Again, both of them are set in stone, which is what we like to see. And then the League Cup. So at the moment it's obviously the Carabao Cup. It has changed its name over the year. You know, we had the Carling Cup back in the day. There's a £50,000 bonus for winning that. There's no bonus for getting to the final. We're expecting or expecting to be there and thereabouts anyway. So if you were to hit your bonus figures, so say you got 15 goals in the season, how am I going to work this out? You need to times that by 15, so that equals that times 15, and that equals that new. Okay, that equals that times 15. Equals get rid of the extra plus. So, say you were to hit 15 goals in the season, you'd hit your seasonal goal bonus, which is £1 million, plus each of your individual goals. £150,000 a goal, plus your assists. If you hit 15 assists and all of your assists, obviously you get £50,000 an assist, plus the 15 assist bonus, which is 500,000. Say you kept a clean sheet, you won a game. We weren't relegated, so you're not minus the 100,000. We reach the Champions League, we win the final, we win the FA Cup, we win the League Cup, all of them. Your total bonus will be just under £6.5 million, which is half of your yearly salary in bonuses. So that's a 50% bonus option, which is fantastic. I think that's a really good offering. Not a lot of clubs offer anywhere near that amount. Again, you could earn more than that if you score 20 goals this season. You'll be subject to another, whatever, 5 times £750,000 on top of that. If you've got more assists, again, if we end up being relegated, you could earn less than that. If you don't hit them targets, you could earn less than that. I think that's what we've got from me. And that's per year, by the way. That is per year. So that would be 3 million. Actually, that's 3 times your yearly salary. No, sorry, 2 times your yearly salary in bonuses. Because your yearly salary will be 3.12. Your total bonus options are 6.485. So you're getting over twice the amount in bonuses. How is that sounding from yourself? Feel free to just discuss it. I'm really not forced if you'd like to discuss it openly in front of me. Like, I couldn't care less. We're going to be having them discussions anyway. So how would you feel? You think 60,000 is a little bit too low? So I've got your total salary here is looking at 9.6 million. Again, I can't utilise this 9.6. I was given a budget of just shy of 10, but a heavily bonus dependent. We want to provide incentives for players to do well. If if we were to up the actual guaranteed weekly wage, I'd have to take a heavy hit on the bonuses in order to facilitate that. So you're looking closer to 80,000 a week. Okay. Let me have a play around with the numbers, see where we can get to. Just give me 10 seconds. Okay. Let's drop that. Let's drop that. Okay, so I have taken a quick look at this, and I'm going to meet you halfway. If we discuss 70,000 a week, that brings your total salary up to 3,640,000 a year. Still a very healthy number. Your bonuses have dropped significantly. If you hit 15 goals in a season, it's dropped to 750,000. The goal bonus itself is 75,000, which if you were then to hit 15, would total 1.125. Obviously, these have halved, so take that with a pinch of salt. Like the assist bonus halved, 25,000, which brings the total up to 375,000. If you get all 15 assists, 250,000. A clean sheet, 20,000, which has stayed the same. Winning the game is 10,000. I've I've increased the relegation clause I've doubled that, so you'd be subject to a £200,000 deduction if we were to be relegated. Yeah. Champions League bonus has remained the same at 1.5 million. Again, that's just figured out by achieving Champions League, so I can keep that the same. The FA Cup final, 250,000, FA Cup 150,000, League Cup 50,000. I think they've remained the same. Again, that's calculated on whether we hit that, and if we hit that, then we have a bigger pot of money to pull from, which brings your total bonus down to 4.4 million. So it's dropped it about $1.5 million across the year, and your salary the salary's increased by maybe half to £750,000, which guarantees you that money, which guarantees you a large chunk of money. But the uncertainties have significantly reduced because of it. Yeah, so your total salary has gone down from just over 9 million to 8 million a year. So it's dropped it $1 million a year because I can't guarantee, I can't keep these bonuses as high if you want guaranteed money. Like, if you want to take less money guaranteed, I can offer you more as a bonus because it is all performance dependent. I'll tell you what I can do. If you're happy with these bonuses to be as low as they are, which I think, for where we're at, I think they're more than capable for a player that's on 70,000 a week. I'm happy. No, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. The relegation clause, okay. If you want that to be... Okay, how about this? Let's change that. And let's change this. And then change that. I think I'm being more than generous with this, if I'm being totally honest. Weekly wage increased to 72,500. That brings your yearly salary to 3.7 million. Or actually just shy of 3.8 is 3.77 million. Which I think is more than reasonable. I have also reduced your relegation clause. I think I understand that 200,000 is a lot to be taken at the end of a season if we're relegated. But at the same time, we're not expecting to be relegated, so I think there needs to be a big penalty. But I'm more than happy to do 150,000, which is 2 weeks' wages. It's a fine of 2 weeks' wages, basically, or a penalty of 2 weeks' wages for the club being relegated. But I have reduced the Champions League bonus. If we get Champions League, I've reduced that by 500,000. So we're at £1 million on that. It's still a hefty amount of money, lad. It is still a hefty amount of money. That brings your total bonus now down to 3.98 million. And your salary 3.7. So see, the sort of trade-off that I'm having to do here is at one point your bonus was twice the salary. Now it's neck and neck. The total amount is a lot less. So we were looking at something like just over £9 million as a total salary for the year if you were to hit all targets. Now we're looking at 7.75 million, so you're losing out a lot on the year, but you're guaranteeing yourself just under 4 million of that, rather than 3 million being guaranteed and the rest being made up on performance. Are you happy with that? Over the 4 years, the guaranteed salary will be 15. So over the 4 years, your guaranteed salary has increased. And again, it's all bonus dependent, I'm afraid, on the rest of it. You're happy with that? Again, I'm happy with that. I'm probably at my limit. I can't really offer anything else, I'm afraid. But what I can do now is get this all sent over to your lawyers, make sure everything's finalised, finalise everything with your agent, get his signature, get everyone happy and on board. Whilst all that's being done, what I'd like to do is introduce you to the manager himself. I will send you down to the office, and he'll talk you through a lot of the tactics and how you're going to be utilised, because, again, it all might be well and good that we've come to an agreement on all of this, but you've got to have the conversation with him and make sure you're going to be happy at the club. So if you just head down the corridor to your right, go down I think 3 or 4 doors, and you'll see his name just on the door. And yeah, I'd like to introduce you to FootyFacts. So it was an absolute pleasure meeting with both of you today. And yeah, I hope you come to an agreement with the manager, and I hope we get to utilise you and win. We're successful. Thank you.
Hey, it's nice to meet you. I'm FootyFacts, your new manager. Please call me FootyFacts. But gaffer, boss, whatever you want to call me, it's fine. But it's really great to meet you in person. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait to have you on the team. Welcome to the club. How are you settling in? Yeah, good. Nice. Well, I know you've obviously been speaking to Clem, and he's probably crunched through a lot of the numbers with you, so seeing this tactic board is probably the last thing you really want to see. But I wanted to just take this time. I know you've only just gone through the door, but I thought this would be a great opportunity to run through a couple basic tactical stuff about the team, just so ahead of your first training session you're not going in completely blind, having no idea what sort of the tactical setup of the team is and everything. So very quickly here, I'm just going to run you through the 3 basic fundamentals of my team and how we play and what I sort of expect from you from a tactical standpoint. Does that sound good? Great. Okay, so in terms of our team, as I said, we're built on 3 basic fundamental principles. Number 1 is lose the ball, win the ball. Now, what that means is fairly simple. If you lose the ball, we need to win the ball back. We play quite an aggressive, pressing game, so we always want the ball right, and it makes complete sense because I know gifted player in this front three, and we want the ball as much as possible. So as soon as we lose the ball, we want to get back on the ball and dominate it. So we lose the ball, we win the ball back instantly. Now, it's not a reckless thing. We have certain pressing patterns and style which you'll come to learn, but I'm going to run through one with you very briefly here. So we're in red in this example, and one of the sort of pressing patterns of play which we do is we call it fishing. Fishing. Now, you're probably thinking, what am I talking about? Essentially, we are, like fishing, we are baiting the opposition into playing the ball somewhere. So, the goalkeeper has the ball, it's a goal kick. Most likely, the centre-backs will go like this, maybe something like that. We'll just say it's like that. So, ahead of this game, we would analyse the team, our data analysts. We might identify, for example, this number 5 left back for the blue team is not incredible on the ball. So what we want to do is we want to do some fishing, and we want to bait them into getting the ball to the left back. And once the ball is to the left back, then we want to press them. So how do we do that? Well, one of the ways we do this is by essentially squeezing the pitch and forcing them to play the ball to who we want to. So what we would do is we would press extremely high, but tactically. So the goalie would roll the ball out to one of the centre backs, and let's say the right centre back here. So when we would aggressively press the right centre back, but we want the right centre back to be playing the ball to the left. Okay, we want them playing that ball left. So we are going to block off the passing lane through the middle, and we want this player here, the left winger, to be blocking the passing lane to the right back, and we will aggressively squeeze up with the left back as well to block the ball to the right winger. If he tries to slot in here and receive a ball, we're aggressively blocking that, and we're aggressively blocking this. So we're essentially forcing them to play that ball either to the left back there, back to the goalie, or to the left centre back. Because we are, like I said, we're fishing, we are baiting them into playing that pass. Now, if I get my pen here again. So, he plays the pass. He plays a pass to a left-sided centre-back, and now this is again where we are baiting, we are fishing. So what I would expect you, as you're going to be playing in one of these front three situations, to do is you're going to be, if you're the striker, you now need to move and you need to block. Where do you think you need to block if we are trying to funnel the ball to the left back? Yes, exactly. We need to block the ball to the right centre back, to the goalkeeper, to this man here, and anybody except the left back. So we need to shuffle over. So if you're the strike, you now need to move here to block the pass to the right side of centre back. The midfielder will push up like this. He can stay on him as well. He can push up like this, and we'll then move up the left winger like this as well. So now in this situation, this left-sided centre-back again has been squeezed, and we are fishing. He doesn't have many options. For right back will also push up like this. So we have aggressively squeezed the pitch with our pressing, and now the only option for him is to pass here. Now importantly, if you are playing on the right wing in this situation, what I need from you here is you need to apply a little bit of pressure on the ball, but you cannot be up high like this. We're not trying to employ a man-to-man system here, and like I said, we're fishing. We're slowly trying to bait them into playing that pass to the player fishing is a long process. We can't just go straight in and try and grab a fish. We need to wait. So this player will play the pass to the left back because he doesn't really have many options. And then there we go. The bait has been bitten by the fish and now we need to reel it in. So this is where you need to aggressively press, and this is where we squeeze the pitch. We then move everybody over. And we squeeze the pitch. We squeeze the pitch like this. And we will literally just put one half of the team on one side of the pitch. That is one of the things we do. It will make this pitch so much smaller for him. He is going to be crowded out, and yeah, maybe he can try make that switch, but because we've identified he is one of the weaker players on the ball, it's highly unlikely he's going to be able to pull off a pass like that. So we squeeze the pitch like that, cut off the passing lanes, and then hopefully we can win that ball back and score a goal. So that is a basic pressing pattern which you'll come to learn. We have plenty of others, but I'm not going to go into complete depth and detail right away regarding those, because it is of course just your first day here, so I don't want to overwhelm you too much, but that's just a little something for you. Now, our second principle is don't be static. Now this is particularly relevant for you as a forward player, because I do not want my forward players to be static. Constant movement is what we require, okay? And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to sign you, because I've seen your movements, I've seen the way you make runs. It's fantastic, and I think you're going to like sort of the way we play with our attacking lineup. So we have a couple rotations. Again, I'm just going to show you one simple rotation we do in the attacking line, just to show you an example. So what we would do is, let's say our number 6 has a ball, and they're defending in a 4-4-2, so something like that, sure. Now, what I would require from you is, let's say, I know you can play sort of anywhere across the front line. Let's say, for example, you're a left winger. A simple rotation we do is a ball gets played in to the striker. Striker holds up and pins the ball forward, and as soon as that ball gets played into the striker, that is the trigger for the left wing to make this run and the right wing to make this run. So they're going to be switching. Left winger will be moving here and the right winger will be moving there. It's very simple. Now, what this does, well, firstly, if the striker will be pinning that, the striker can just roll the ball for the right winger as they're running. Right winger can take that ball off them and try and get a shot on goal. Equally, the right winger can leave it, and the left winger can do the same, try and curl it with their left foot like that. But it just creates confusion, because a moving attacker is much better than a static attacker, right? And it creates confusion for the defence. So firstly, this centre back is seeing two players making runs ahead of him. He might sort of lose focus and be looking at those, which could allow the striker to peel off him and get a shot away. But it's a stick or twist situation with the opposition fullbacks, where they are like, okay, do I stay with you or do I leave you? Because let's say it only takes one of them to do the opposite and boom, we're in. Let's say this guy says, I'm going to track him. So left winger makes a run, he tracks him. But then this guy says, you know what, I'm going to leave him and let someone else take him. He stays here. He has run here. He has run here. He's tracking him all the way. But it leaves confusion, because now suddenly who's marked him? He's left all of this space wide open, because and now this guy is just marking nobody. So that's just a simple, again, rotation, very simple rotation. We have plenty of these, which we have in our teams, and we don't like to be static. We are always constantly on the move in this front line. So what I require from you is some really good pressing and some really good movement. And finally, the third fundamental principle of our teams is be between the line, not on the line. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, it's very similar to the movement thing, but essentially what I want you to do is I want you to see this as sort of lines like this on a football pitch. I don't want you to be on the line like this, okay? If you're on the line like this, it's very easy for defenders to defend against you when you're on the line. But when you are on this defensive line, right? This is the defensive line. When you're like this, it's very easy for them to defend against you. But when you are between the line, between this line and this line, it suddenly becomes a lot harder for you, because it's that thing of stick or twist. Does the left back come out to get you there? Does the centre back, when you are between the line here, come get you? Or is that the central midfielder's role? When you are between the lines here, does a right back come get you there? Or do they leave you and give you this much space to get the ball? Okay? So I want you to not be on the line. I want you to be between the lines. You're very good in these half spaces of the pitch, right? I want you to be in those. I want you to be running in the channels. It's also good to be running through the line, okay? Again, your movement is fantastic. You have some really good physical attributes. I want you to be making those runs. If you're playing striker, I don't want to see you 90% of the game here. I want to see you over here. I want to see you over here. I want to see you over here. I might even want to see you sometimes here. We play a very fluid system in this front line, so that's one of the reasons I picked you, because you're versatile. You can play in multiple roles. You're comfortable playing out wide. You're comfortable playing centrally. So, yeah, that's really what I require from you. If you lose the ball, we win the ball and we squeeze the pitch and we get that ball. I don't want you to be static. I want you to be constantly moving and rotating with the other attackers. I want you to be between the lines, not in the line. I want you to be finding the half space. I want you to be moving into the channels, okay? So, how's that all sound? Yeah, I know, it's probably a little bit to take in right now, but as I said, I just wanted to give you that brief overview tactically before you go into your first training session, so now you have an idea of sort of what I expect from you from a basic standpoint. We'll go into much more advanced things for the rest of the season, but yeah, I just wanted to say this little bit, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the season. I'm excited to have you on board, and hopefully we can achieve great things together. So yeah, go meet the other boys, meet the rest of the players and the rest of the coaching staff, and I'll see you at training.